Not muted. Anyone on Zoom, please holler if we are not coming through.
Hey, good evening, everyone, and thank you for being here. First order of business, or item number one on our agenda, is to call to order, which that just was, and now to adopt our agenda.
I move to adopt the agenda with an amendment. Actually, strike that. I move to amend the agenda to change the under item 3, possible consent agenda for recurring matters, subsection D currently reads to approve liquor license renewal. That is actually approve a new license, and the new license is to sell alcohol to go.
Okay.
I will second that.
Okay, so the motion is to approve the agenda with that
Well,
change.
that's just to amend the agenda, and then we'll move to approve.
Okay, so all in favor of amending the agenda, please say aye.
Aye.
Okay, now to approve the agenda, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, we got the ayes. Select board remarks, I would just like to make a brief remark that we had a complaint or a front page forum complaint that people on Zoom cannot hear us and hear people talking in the audience when they don't come forward. And we've always tried to make that a policy, but I get lax in such a small room to make everyone come forward. But when the people up there can't hear us, the newspaper can't hear us. So I hate to be rude and stop you in mid-sentence when you start talking from your seat, but we are going to have to come forward to make that happen right. And that is all. Anyone else have any comments they want to make?
I'll just piggyback on that, which is I'm technically, I mean, Bill is always helping, but technically I'm the one managing the Zoom. I'm also trying to participate in the meeting. I do my level best to catch people as they're entering, but sometimes I might miss you for a minute. But I promise I'm doing my best and I will get you when I see you.
Okay. Okay, moving on. Item 3, possible consent agenda for all of our minutes and liquor licenses. Desire of the board.
I move to have a consent agenda for 3A through F.
I'll second that.
Motion 3A through F consent agenda. So we have a motion and a second. Any questions? None heard. All in favor of A through F as approved, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. And nobody opposes, so we are done. Item 3. Item 4, select board reports.
In absence of the town manager, just going to call out his report. There's just a couple things. I'm sure you did have some stuff on there, Doug. I just want to make sure that the traffic signal adjustments performed recently appear to be working well to accomplish our smoother flow of traffic at peak times, which is the main goal. We'll keep an eye on the conditions. And as the board is aware, the traffic interconnect component requires a replacement, and the contractor is seeking to source that for us. And that's to make sure that Carver Street and Carver Street Union street lights and the library street lights are talking to each other. And at times maybe they're not, but I've definitely noticed, I mean, anecdotally from somebody who is on Carver Street, especially around those busy times, there's a lot longer queue on the side streets and traffic seems to be flowing more normally going up and down that street. Also, speaking of traffic lights, while we were in the middle of our exercise, an emergency exercise, an emergency management exercise involving the whole state, with all the department heads there, the fire chief, this water superintendent. Lightning struck in the middle of town and struck one of the Cobra heads that's hanging over the crosswalk by the falls here, and damaged, knocked out the traffic lights. We were able to get the traffic lights back up, but half of the globes, the ones on the west side of the street, are out because that balanced out. We have an electrician coming in tomorrow to assess. Those are 2 things I want to know that Seth would have wanted to point out.
And I want to point out just a couple others because I think they're important. One is still on rebuilding our police department, that the candidate that we did offer the position to has signed his desire to be a come to us and be a lieutenant and is now pending in the background check. If that happens, then he will be here before year's end, and that will really help us in our police department staffing. And also in the police department, that Linda Graziano, who's worked for us for many, many years, has let us know that she's not coming back to work. She's been on a leave and that she's moving into retirement. So we certainly wish her the best. And financially, that the local options tax unobligated fund balance is 328,800, and the capital fund, that is where the 50,000 went that we voted for last year. And then we sold some old unused or old equipment that we were no longer using. So that fund balance has a balance of 70,000. So financially, things are in really good shape. So if anyone has any questions on the town manager's report, if they want to ask, we can get to Seth tomorrow, between Bill and myself. Other than that, I'm going to move on from that. Yes.
Yeah. Well, I noticed since the last meeting that delinquent taxes have gone up $90,000.
Yep.
And wastewater $60,000. Is
Yep.
that a quarterly, is that a phenomenon, or is that?
No, interest and
No.
penalties have been posted to those delinquent bills to increase the bills.
And that?
Yeah, that's why the numbers, that's why they're. Yeah, that's, from the way I understand it, that is the increase is due to interest and penalties being added to all of the delinquent bills. There were only 12 properties that remained for tax sale, but that is anyone that's past due. They may not be in the tax sale.
I think the interest is 8% or something. I mean, it's a high interest
Yeah.
rate, so
18.
yeah,
Okay.
it builds up fast.
Got it. And then this report, is that like, what is the period of this?
My understanding is it's a snapshot of the year to date.
Okay.
Yeah.
Year to date being July.
July to
Correct.
now,
Right, fiscal.
it tells us roughly, when some number is way askew, usually Seth puts on here roughly what point we are in the year, which I don't think is on this one, but it's about the 30 percentile. And so like any department that would be way over, which I guess I'll say buildings and grounds, I don't know.
That's because
Yeah,
they.
but because there's
got rid of
transfer.
building.
Yep.
Yeah.
And let's see, and it gives us idea as looking at it, like that the police department is under budget this year because of the
Well,
understaffing.
we
So it's keeping us in touch with it. And last year, it's what highlighted that the police overtime was way out of whack because that number was so high that it got us digging into to the things. Some of them, when you have to look at it, some different items in departments, even though it's for a year, things happen at the beginning of the year. If they're like renewals for services rendered for the computer system of the town or things like that. So if something's out of whack, and then we ask Seth what's going on, but that's the purpose of this form.
It actually was the revenue for the town, tax revenue and administrative revenue.
Yep. And the administrative, yeah, and it's a small item, but it's up, it's 36,000 up. And I questioned what exactly was there, and I don't know if that might be where they're booking in the dollars and cents of the things that we have sold. Do you know?
I'm not sure off the top of my head, but I'm sure there's an explanation. Yeah, there's an explanation.
Yeah.
I just not paid, for
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. But you understand the purpose of the form, so we can.
It's just when I saw those revenue figures, I was like, damn, I better ask. So, thank you. I guess
you.
we'll find out from Seth.
Any other questions regarding town management? Yes.
I just wanted to highlight on the traffic lights. I've been, again, anecdotally noticing a lot less backing up on 7. Normally a couple times a day. You would see it down past Briggs Lane where it intersects 7, kind of out here. But I'd be very curious anecdotally for people who drive on Route 7 more than I do, what their experience has been.
Good. If nothing else, then we move on to Mr. Moore's report.
Thank you. This is my report. It's lengthy for August 27th. The fall sports season has ended for the majority of our youth. Youth football and soccer would not be possible without the support of all our volunteer coaches. A big thank you to them for keeping kids safe while also teaching them the valuable lessons that come from participating in team sports. To that end, youth basketball registration is open for area youths in grades pre-K through 6th. There'll also be open gyms in our annual collaboration with Otter Valley for in-season clinics. Sundays and Thursdays at Neshabie and Otter Valley North Camp, at Otter Valley, not Otter Valley North Campus, Otter Valley North Campus will host youth cheer. Reminders that Aikido with Sensei Wade has open enrollment. They meet on Mondays and Saturdays at the town hall. Adult pickup basketball Thursdays will be relocating back to the Neshabie school starting on November the 6th. The Sunday morning time will remain at Otter Valley. With the gearing up of the Otter Valley Junior and Senior High basketball, there will be some changes to the availability of the OV North Campus Gymnasium. 3 to 6 will be booked by Otter Valley. Pickleballers will be impacted by this change. Town Hall programming news. The Brandon Rec is collaborating with the director of the Brandon Actors Troupe to provide space downstairs at the Town Hall for rehearsal for the January performance of Upstate. That's adult theater troupe. Registration for the Brandon Area Chamber of Commerce Moonlight Madness dates on December the 3rd and December the 11th for vendor space in the town hall is nearly full. If you're considering registering, do it today as the space is limited. That's upstairs and downstairs here in the space. We provide arts and craft vendors, food vendors. The opportunity was done by the Friends of the Town Hall. It's now being administered by the Rec. October 31st and November 1st, the Brandon Rec is hosting Amplified Arts mini tour production of Pride and Prejudice. Tickets are available online and at the door. On November 8th is the always popular Brandon's Got Talent. I believe this is their 10th year. If you don't come for the talent, come for the venerable MC, Dennis Martin. November the 15th will be the last silent movie of the 2025 season with a showing of 1925's Seven Chances. Proceeds from both of those shows will be used to fund the 2026 silent movie series, facilitated by the former Friends of the Brandon Town Hall. On November 22nd, it's going to be the 7th anniversary of Red Clover Ale Company. It'll be celebrated at the Brandon Town Hall with the reunion of Central Vermont's second or third most powerful garage band, Feral Godmother. Doors open at 4:30. The band from 5 to 6:30, followed by a DJ dance. This is a fundraiser for the Brandon Rec Scholarship Fund. And the following day, on November the 23rd, Neshabie Pie Gobbler Fun Run. Registration is open. That's a fun run on the cart paths at the Neshabie Golf Course. And every 10th finisher, including the top finishers, but every 10th finisher will get a pie. So you don't necessarily have to win. You just have to be able to count. All Brandon Rec registration information can be found at brandonrec.com.
Thank you, Mr. Moore. Questions for Mr. Moore? Yes.
I've got one, not Rec, but Union Street. Do we have a timeline, like for right-of-ways going out to bid? I think we want to do that 26, right?
26 will be, summer of 26 will be construction. Right-of-ways are being negotiated now with a goal of having them all complete by December 1st. Doing the right-of-way, and then we've got to go get that checked by VTrans. VTrans will come back to us, give us the go-ahead, and then we can put it out to bid for engineering and construction. And we'll be, concurrent to that, at some point, we'll definitely be coming back to the select board to apply for more grant money to fund the 80-20 match, because it's over and above and beyond what this first grant that we got of $300,000 will do.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Any other questions for Mr. Moore from the board? Any questions for Mr. Moore from the public? None heard. Moving on. Item 5 is to consider a revolving loan application on from Pine Grove Gardens. The loan has been recommended to us from the revolving loan fund, and Bill Moore knows any details. Information was in your packet. Cover letters there. Would you like to speak on this?
Sure, I'll just read the cover letter out for the public's awareness. On October the 21st, the Brandon Revolving Loan Fund Committee met with Ben Schwing to consider a loan request for Pine Grove Gardens LLC. Ben, one of the three prime areas of Pine Grove Gardens and Pine Grove Organics Retail, delivered an extraordinarily thorough presentation to the committee about the cannabis industry and the next phase of their plan to grow their business in Brandon. They're seeking a loan to complete their build out of a grow facility to be located in one of the two Brandon properties that they own. Their business has progressed as planned toward this stage ever since purchasing a building and opening an initial Pine Grove Organics retail establishment on Grove Street in 2022. Their move to downtown Brandon, while also retaining ownership of the building and subsequent conversion back to residential housing, is proof of their commitment to providing service to the substantial customer base here in Brandon. This RLF loan will allow them to expand their business and hire more staff. The committee unanimously approved their impressive loan application. And the RLF recommended terms, they requested $40,000. The terms would be 5.25 interest rate, amortized as a 60-month loan. Repayment would begin in March of 26. The security would be first security interest in all business assets of Pine Grove Gardens LLC, including all equipment associated with the grow operation, will be listed in the loan documentation. A mortgage lien on the property located at 335 Grove Street, and personal loan guarantees signed by all of the principals of Pine Grove Gardens LLC. And Ben is here to answer any questions you guys might have.
Pleasure of the board.
I'll make a motion that we approve the loan.
And I'll second it.
Okay. And it is our position, as I say, this has already been through the revolving loan fund, so we kind of let them do the technical work and we do the blessing. All in favor of the blessing and the approval of the Pine Grove Gardens LLC, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? No one.
Go in peace. No.
Congratulations.
Moving on. Item 6, public comment and participation. We just need anyone who would like to say public stuff, come right up here to the microphone. Brent Bueller.
I have a follow-up question to the delinquent taxes that were posted. When do they become delinquent? And so what period is this? Because those are pretty substantial, $90,000 and $60,000 respectively. Is that a Seth question?
That's a Sue Gage question.
Sue Gage question. So, I mean, because it was making such good progress on delinquent taxes going down, down, down. I mean, 90,000 is about 17% increase. And then the 60 is almost like a $30,000 and 30% increase. So
I know our
I
next.
guess I'm just asking what period it is.
Yeah,
It's a
I know
lot
our
of
next
money.
payments are due on the 15th of this month, or next month.
So
And so I believe after they're like 2 months past due,
2
but
months.
we will ask Sue Gage and we'll report at the next meeting if that's okay.
okay. Oh, no, that's fine. It's just, like I said, it's quite a jump.
Yep.
So, thank you.
And that, I mean, again, that's across all accounts, all the accounts. So like if you're late,
Water, sewer.
water, sewer, like that instantly, so if I've made my first late payment and I'm down 8%, that's one out of, our 1,900 taxpayers. I mean, like that number could go up pretty quickly.
Yeah.
If you're just late.
Other public comment? Billy Bullock.
Billy Bullock, was out for a stroll the other day going across, the dam over here on, what is that, Kennedy Park? Remember way back several months ago, there was a discussion on repair of that. Just kind of curious if anything has happened.
I can give you an update, or Bill can, you want it? Okay, the update is, because I asked that numerous times over the years, and we had a couple different options given to us that we could like remove the top tier and lower the water level. We can dig out inside the dam, and we could reconstruct, back to the full height, et cetera. I think the decision was pretty much to take that top tier off.
Yeah. And so we put it out to bid, and nobody answered for the work to be done. So right now we're by default going to the do nothing phase. And I mean, and the state of Vermont is okay with that. There's there's not much money in, and no money at all in repairing that dam. So the repair of that dam will be footed by the town. Removal of the dam, there's money in there for that. Doing nothing, there's no money for that, but it doesn't cost us anything.
So the only thing we can do is put it out for bid again next year because it's also the time frame where the state does not allow us in the waterway.
Should we
So-
consider removing the dam? If the state will pay for that?
Or decision.
I think nature will remove the dam given enough time and nobody will have to pay for it.
Well, that's,
Yeah, but if nature removes it, sometimes nature removes it a little
No.
more roughly than,
that's
we
my
could
question
remove it.
is, has there been any idea of what damage could happen real close to downstream or even further downstream if that was to let go all in one shot
My,
during a heavy storm?
Seth did look into this a few months ago. My recollection is that there's not actually that much water being held back because it's all sediment back in there. So it'd be pretty minimal in terms of excess water flow. I mean, catastrophic dam failure is probably not ideal in any situation, but I don't think it would be a huge problem.
I'll ask Seth to have that ready for the next meeting for an update. So,
And if we can certainly put it back out to bid and see if there's some sort of appetite to at least get somebody to give us a number on what it would cost to fix the dam. So you can weigh the cost of fixing it versus doing nothing.
thank you, Billy. Other questions or comments? There's something on there?
Anyone on Zoom, if you want to ask questions now would be a good time.
or take it away.
Going once, going twice? Going 3 times, sold? Um, that's the end of the thing. Item 7.
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
All in favor of adjournment?
Hi.
Hey.
Thank you all for coming. Brief meeting.
How many times have you made that motion, Brian?
So apparently during COVID,